Okay. Be somebody that I think is going to
Yeah.
So we don't have
It's been.
all elected officers. Do I just run it?
Yeah, if you just open it and then show approval, discuss of being able to have very, very brief meeting for one civilian jurisdiction.
David, how are you? Okay. I'm all set.
Everyone turn on the microphones, please. Our joint meeting.
No. Not connected to the internet, Siri not available.
Pushed and held the home button too long.
What's in seven?
It went off everything except for that. I'll push it only off.
There you go.
There you go.
We have fun occasionally. No, I thread it.
They don't turn off.
I've got a nice 20-pound mind.
Sleepy kind of, drink better.
Brand new married.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. I call to order the Platteville Foundation meeting. Okay, can we have roll call, please?
Adrian Sandoval,
Here.
Larry Clark,
Here.
Harold Leggett,
Present.
Nick Ralston,
Here.
Spencer Bradman,
Here.
Troy Blum,
Here.
Hope Morris.
Can we continue? Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda, please. Yes, it's right here. Right there.
Go your next year, I didn't see it.
Oh,
Can we get printed copies of it?
yes, there's
Of
one.
what? Of the agenda?
Please?
It's, the agenda includes audience participation, and action items are election of officers, and appointment of gifts and donations committee, 3 to 5 members, and then adjournment.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, audience participation. No? Okay, seeing none, moving on, action items. A, election of officers. Mr. Rankin?
Thank you. Director Sandoval.
Okay, that's how that's gonna work.
All right, so this is our first meeting of the Platteville Foundation. Back in July of last year, the board pursued a 501c3 nonprofit status, so we established articles of incorporations and bylaws. Recently I was reviewing these and realized that we had not had our first meeting. It was going to be quarterly. It'll be relatively easy because there's no funds available. And the purpose, if you recall, was primarily to pursue some foundation grants that we currently can't do or we couldn't do, not being a nonprofit. It also opens up some other opportunities for fundraising, donations, and projects. According to the bylaws, the first action item is to establish selection of officers. So you are the board of directors, but the board shall elect the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer to serve a term of 1 year, for each 1 year. Each officer may succeed him or herself in one term. One person can hold more than one office, except the president, secretary cannot be the same individual. So, it's up to you really how you want to establish that. You can have a conversation of who really should be the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. One option is just to use this existing board as its current hierarchy. The other option is to have someone else other than the mayor, mayor pro tem, be the president, vice president. So it's really up to you in your conversation. We'll meet quarterly. I don't foresee any actions or considerations to be had until a grant is pursued or some funding is pursued or some projects come up. But I open that part up to you. I don't really have any recommendations, but I'll leave that to you for conversation.
Comments?
I'm okay with the hierarchy that we have right now. I've been to maybe, adjustments or with the election coming up.
It's every year.
Every year, these officers are reappointed every
Okay.
year. So we'll actually do this, about next year, but then after the following election, so it's changes.
So we'll do it after April. Would make sense, the first meeting. Any other comments? Opinions?
The board hierarchies.
Okay, Spencer?
That sounds good. What does that look like, Troy?
So,
Run me
the mayor will be president, Larry, as mayor pro tem will be vice president, we still need a secretary and treasurer. And as far as that goes, Mary is essentially will be your secretary on your behalf, and she'll take the meeting minutes. And as town manager, I'll manage the funds as a town manager for that you need to have somebody appointed to those that we can work with.
The title.
Secretary, that's like a pretty good job.
Yeah, there you go, secretary.
All right, first one is secretary, treasurer,
And then Spencer treasurer.
treasurer. All right,
Everybody okay with that? Okay,
okay.
motion, Mary? Do we need to have a motion as such?
Not if it's consensus,
It's
that's fine.
consensus.
Okay, all right. Action item B, appointment of gifts and donation committee, 3 to 5 members.
Okay, also according to the bylaws, there's several committees. There's a committee for nominating committee. I don't know if that's really necessary, but the one I'm looking at is the gifts and donations committee. And this one is when we do have a grant or we have funding opportunities, donations. It says 3 to 5 members. I think 3 is realistic, since there's only 7 members of the board of directors. And the Gifts and Donations Committee develops plans and methods to obtain gifts, donations, and bequests for the use and benefit of Platteville through this corporation, consistent with the purposes stated here and with the articles of incorporation. The committee shall bring a report to each meeting of the board of directors. So that's the second action item tonight, is to establish a 3-person or 5-person, 3 to 5 committee for donations and gifts.
Okay.
And as I said, there's no money right now, but
Right.
in time.
And that's to pursue donations and gifts, really.
And you could, it's pretty vague. I mean, if we had funding where we started a grant program, like some foundations do, that committee could receive and review the initial applications for that grant, as an example. Or if we have a specific project, that committee could work directly with one of our other committees or nonprofits on pursuing a splash pad or whatever the case may be. So as an example. So.
Okay. Volunteers. Go that way first. I volunteer, that's fine. Okay. Whatever, there's you.
Oh, Nick and I don't volunteer.
Yeah.
I think we're a representative from the planning commission.
Okay, Harold volunteers and Nick's voluntold, right?
I volunteer Nick.
That's a buddy for you.
Mary, you got that?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Mr. Schaefer, would you like to volunteer as well?
I'm not part of that committee.
Well, you can
I'm
be.
not part of that board.
Oh, you could be though.
That's why you're here.
We would welcome you.
That's
What's
what
that?
We would welcome you.
Or anyone, for
Yes.
that matter.
I think I hear a train coming.
It's got a Johnny Cash song.
It's a lot easier to jump on board than to be in front of it.
Troy, can I ask a question for you on this regard to donations and gifts? Now, I know the Parks, Trails, and Trees Committee is eager to get the 501c3 numbers, so that when we solicit donations, we can offer that up as an enticement. And then we're looking for like donations as mulch for the dog park or something like that, right? So, would the Parks, Trails, and Trees Committee need to work with this newly formed committee before they did that, or only after the gift was received?
Good question. Gift as far as donations coming in?
Right.
Okay. The donations are made to the Platteville Foundation.
That would probably be if you're gonna provide them with the 501c3 number, that would be
And it would go to a special fund that is managed by this board of directors.
Right.
So you would work
In conjunction with, I would think.
in conjunction probably.
Yes, I agree. I just wanted to, I guess what I'm clarifying is the initial act of soliciting the donations. I'm trying to say we're creating some sort of hurdle here where the Parks, Trails, and Trees Committee has to come to this committee every time they want to go and ask for a donation of whatever it may be.
I think in that level, you would still go to the board of trustees. I don't think this foundation, unless money specifically made out to this foundation, then you would have to have the foundation. So it depends on how that money comes in.
But if we're already working and the money comes into the foundation, we're already working towards funds for mulch, we'll say.
And this board of directors can say these foundations will be earmarked
Yeah.
for that project, or for this committee, or for the youth committee, or the economic development group.
Yeah, no more hurdles.
At the risk of
You know,
unduly complicating this question, I foresee the possibility that a donor may choose to donate funds for a specific purpose,
That happens.
which may address your concern, Spencer, that if someone were to make a donation for $400 for trees, for instance, and noted that on their donation, then it becomes a moot question as to.
my question goes to, I'm not worried about the after of the money. That part I get. We have to, we can check the boxes on where the money's gonna go. And it's the Parks, Trails, and Trees Committee decides that we want, with the Board of Trustees' blessing, that we want to pursue this mulch next to the golf course. It's just a blanket example, right, of anything that we might want to pursue. I'm just seeing if we have to add this extra step of them going to this committee first to ask for the permission to go to other people to ask for the donation. It's not on the back end, it's on the front end.
I don't see what would prohibit you from acting independently of the commission or.
Because we're gonna offer the 501c3 number, is why
True, but all that is a vehicle for the person making the donation to.
Right off the taxes.
yeah. I guess I'm just trying to make sure that's clear with everybody for off the get-go, so we don't get in trouble on the back end, like, hey, they should ask us first before you did that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Understood.
What about somebody that's just donating material, say Parks, Trails, and Trees, give us potting soil for the tubs on Main Street, not giving money, they're giving material. How do you handle that?
That would probably go more through the town board of trustees and the Platteville Foundation. Because I don't think the foundation deals with anything non-monetary.
From what I understand, they would give a receipt in value of.
Give a receipt of, yeah. There's nothing really, the foundation can then automatically transfer that over to the town. Because it's actually two separate entities, even though it's the same members.
Right.
So if money comes into the Platteville Foundation, the separate fund will be established, managed by the town accordingly. But the foundation will decide that money, not the board of trustees. But even though.
Now, if somebody's looking for a tax exemption or some kind of reimbursement, they bring the receipt, material with the receipt to the town, with the town of trustees, then go through the board to get them that tax break, or?
It's staff issue.
Yeah, I agree with that staff,
Okay.
yeah.
But I mean, for them to donate material and get that 501(c), would they have to go through the board then?
Well, the donations and gifts committee would be part of that initially, and then they would submit a report to the quarterly board of directors of how that comes in and what's been done with it.
I would think what's generally gonna happen with this, at least in the beginning, is Parks, Trails, and Trees gonna go after giving some donations in whatever capacity, whether it be gifts in kind or money. And the foundation is established to provide the 501(c)(3) number for tax purposes. When we, later down the road, when someone just wants to give the Town of Platteville Foundation a $10,000 gift, then the directors decide where the money goes. That's what's gonna be, I think, when the directors really step in and take charge of the money. Otherwise, we're working with the groups who are trying to raise funds.
That sounds reasonable. One foundation that research they are set for specific purposes. There's one foundation I found that's only will fund boys and girls clubs. That's it, nothing else. Some foundations already have preset groups that they give money to annually, and nobody else can apply. So it just, we have to work out those details on how this foundation will be, but right now there's zero in the bank. So at the next quarterly meeting, that'll be a topic of conversation, is how we manage all these details. Okay? Good question, though.
Yeah,
Sorry
don't
if I
want
have no
hurdles.
leads.
Yeah.
You're fine.
No, that's important. We don't want more hurdles. People are trying to do good things in this town. We don't wanna put red tape in front of them. I mean, I don't.
It's not supposed to be meant for that.
Right.
Like we said, it was established as a nonprofit to give that benefit.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
I just wanted to, what kind of grants are you looking at applying for, just like real quick, that we couldn't apply for before, that we can now in the future? I mean, obviously you're not gonna do it tomorrow.
Well, for example, that boys in, I can't remember the name, I think it's maybe the Coors Foundation. It is. And they only give money for boys and girls clubs. That's that as an example. So as I look at more different types of foundations, they only give money for
Okay,
those.
so you were like potentially starting a Boys and Girls Club?
Exactly.
Got it.
And there's a foundation out there that only will do public park amenities, for example, then that's something that would be of interest to the town, or to the youth community and the Parks, Trails, and Trees community.
We have a foundation created to go after that.
Love it.
So you have to wear multiple hats, Spencer, sometimes.
Hey, I do that. I'm already doing that.
But just one more.
Yep.
Anything else? All right, we're adjourned. Now, I believe I saw everything here. I wanna thank them for the meal.
Oh, they're already
I
gone.
just let,
Oh, really?